Hello. I have like problems at the moment. Like, so basically, I last night played this for an hour and then realized that my microphone at some point had clipped out for unknown reasons. So, full disclosure, I've played this part of the trial very recently, as in like last night, and then I had to remove it all. And because I had saved over the last save, I had to redo the entire walking around the big top thing. Like, it was really quick because I've done it all before, and I was just like skip. So that was okay, but it was annoying. It took like 30 minutes to do it. Like, anyway, so we're gonna do this again, but this time without my microphone being a bitch. December 29th, 9:43 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 5. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe we should fly in and walk up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. December 29th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. And now for the... What? Your Honor, get on with it. Oh, sorry. I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So... Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor. He does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we call the defendant Maximilian Galactica. Sounds more friendly. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Ms. Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix, right? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count. Do you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. She was a 13-year-old prodigy who had never lost a case in the last 5 years that she's been a prosecutor until you came along, fuck nuggets. You have no chance. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose anything. You already did once, babe. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Yeah, you know it, babe. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix, right? I'll show you the textbook's procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? No, me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. There. Opening statement complete. Now, let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Get up there. Now. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. All right, Detective, you may proceed with your testimony. Details of the events. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma. They snapped a vertebrae in his neck. I see. He was beaten to death. Here is the autopsy report for the victim. The court accepts this into evidence. Autopsy report added to the court record. A blunt object. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination. Details of the events. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's gotta be more to this. What's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? All of the circus performers were gathered on the big top to practice their routines. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Alleged victim? Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you're welcome to file a report after these proceedings. The practice session broke up at around 10 p.m. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Ben, the ventriloquist, went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ow! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Alright. We'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. Trilo's evening greeting. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. Why did it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand. that hair. Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with the evidence? I wonder! Bluffing is everything in this world, but I'm sure you already learned that one. Listen. Hang on. Have you already learned that one? I got your ass out of, like, prison and stuff. I guess I can give it a shot. The witness will resume his testimony. I'm absolutely sure I saw him, Max going. I said good evening to him. Did you, stick boy? Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal, it was just an argument, a disagreement at most. A disagreement... I'm drunk. That was so slurred. A disagreement doesn't usually end with someone getting clonked over the head. Ah! That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and the witness had a huge fight. There is absolutely no way they could have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on the stand. There is no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival. Gwah! Are you saying this witness is lying? That he's trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie. Honestly, I just... That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? He saw a different person. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. Itchy eye. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there's only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or, good evening, as he put it. What in the world? Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening? Considering the ill temper of this witness, there is only one person who agreed. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. It's weird that he's so into this 16-year-old. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh. Yeah. I suppose you got a point there. Music kick back in? Yes. It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You're correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greet him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quist. Wow! Ah! Order. How do you respond to this? Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man, but once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica. I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area on the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, Mr. Russell Berry? The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. 3 symbols? Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man. You gotta remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone, all together now. Ow! Yes, yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses. A silk hat and a cloak, anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witnesses endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possible, even, Russell Berry. What? Ms. Von Karma. Do you have any clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant? Well, if that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment. Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one. She has another witness, obviously. This is very unfortunate. Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix, right? What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that his witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your effort, but who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? We knew! Right, Phoenix, stop being a dumbass. Stop being a dumbass. We knew that Mo, the clown, was the witness. We accidentally sent them Ben, like dickheads, who would just clarify Mo's opinion. So, it's gonna be Mo. Your Honor, the prosecution will provide without a shadow of a doubt an answer to that question and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Very well. This court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess. Boo 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 doo doo boo boo. I've finally gotten used to the little save progress sound. I'm so smart. No. A wooden box? That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention, it was locked. Locked, you say? A wooden box added to the court record. The victim was hunched over this 20-pound box. It boasts a small but strong lock. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Yeah, ask about the box. This wooden box, you figure it weighs about 20 pounds, right? Sounds about right. The whole thing is lined with iron. Iron plating? Why do you think it's lined with iron? I figure they just did it to make the box heavier. Youch. I think we could all do without your guesses, detective. Stick to what little you actually know. Sorry. Suffice to say, the box is really heavy. Much better. You may continue on, detective. We're gonna go back. Because there were several things we could ask about that box, and I want to ask all 3 of them. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, skip. Skip to ask about the lock. You said the box was locked. How exactly was it locked? Well, it had quite a steady lock on it. It took quite a bit to open that bad boy up. So, when you found the box, it was locked, correct? Yes, it was. Some of the forensics team took it back to the precinct to crack it open. I see. Continue, Detective Gumshoe. We're gonna go back again. I'm gonna press this thing. We're gonna skip until I ask a question about the contents. About the contents. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Bottle? What is that, detective? exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? There was only one little bottle in that huge box. I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle added to the court record. Cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. Is this the point where I actually get given an autopsy? Oh, okay. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? Spam. You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No. I bet he made it disappear with magic. You're a dickhead. Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. Guess that's all we're going to get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're going to get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. Eh? I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Ms. Von Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trillo will show up on the stand as well. He'd have to, otherwise Ben can't speak. Oh dear. Already smash him in the face. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Trillo Quist. I am employed as an operatic tenor. Excuse me? The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That robe must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Ahem. Me. The world of the law, exciting and daring. Guilt or innocence decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? It had a good rhythm, did it? I went with what I was like. Thank you, Maya. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trillo, you know better than to insult a judge. Why, what's wrong with women? Ben? Shut up. Just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly, I want to punch you in the face. On the off chance, swelling would help. You know what your nose is? The reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order. I demand to know who the witness is. That's fair. Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trillo handle this. I'm just putting my phone up here in this little stand so that I can see it, but I can also ignore it. I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about the test of... Ouch! You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed. Witness testimony. What you witnessed. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge. Clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? When the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene. You're sure of that? Without a doubt, he had on his silk hat cloak and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown? That's right, dress boy. Well, since you went with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit. Why is that? Here's absolute proof. Silk hat? This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Ah. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Oh, okay. I guess she's the boss again today. Cross-examination. What you witnessed. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge. Clown. The clown? You're talking about Mo. Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic, I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to keeling over for good. Poor guy. We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being the first place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack. Then what happened? Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. Why the plaza's entrance? To do some thinking, of course. It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker, at least my teachers always said I was. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup? Snobby three-piece getup? Get the wax out of your ears, lawyers nowadays. You're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Jeez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. Fuck you, Maya. I got you off scot-free like a few days ago. Calm your tits. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo? That's right. And that makes him the killer. Was only one person headed that way that night? That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to this story than meets the eye. There's no proof it was Max. Ben only saw Max is the problem, because if he only saw Max, he didn't see the victim. More to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss with this? Yes, Ben only saw Max. That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max? Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose the witness could have seen? Profiles. The ringmaster. That's the victim. That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well. Aha! Obviously the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness. Could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he just as the witness stated at the scene of the crime? Ah, I see. It seems that at this stage, I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions. He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now, let's move along with the testimony. Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Yeah, he would. Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got conked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge, clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. He's the only one heading that way. How could he, that point, not be the killer? And the police showed up before he magically. So I'm gonna press this one again. Saw Max and only Max that night. Skip. You've heard what he has to say. Let him continue with his testimony. Oh, it's not gonna let me ask the questions again? Boy, oh boy. Huh. The police showed up. Okay, let's press that because I want to know how long ago it was. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? Huh? I think it was around... I'd say a bit after 10:30 p.m. I think. Practice ended at 10. So you hung around the lodging house this entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is... Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather? Well, maybe you're waiting for someone. Whoa, what? Who said we were waiting for someone? Mr. Phoenix, right. We can all do without your off-handed theories. With this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something. Mr. Wright. Who do you suppose the witness was waiting for outside in the cold that night? His one and only true love, an underage girl called Regina. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. Wah! You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, I can't really... You can't really ask me that question. Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it. Well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought. Ah! That makes perfect sense. What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the scene. Ow! There is absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina. Payne, don't volunteer things. Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? I was. I was waiting to propose to her. You were what? Waiting to propose? What's the matter? You think the humans have a monopoly on marriage? That the matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case. You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit. More pain. Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. About the proposal. Witness testimony. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. So, you were going to propose, you a puppet. Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love. I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too. Exactly. His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now. I agree, Phoenix. Real hard. Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination. What was with that sigh at the end? Don't tell me he's got the thing for Regina as well. Cross-examination about the proposal. Don't be so surprised I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. Dress. What was it exactly that you planned on giving her? You know exactly what I was going to give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're going to die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Engagement ring? Wow. Those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Why? He has literally been this entire time talking about proposing to her. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Pain equals bad, push on anyway. Deal with it. No pain, no gain. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to a human being. Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short. I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to the facts, not sociology. Sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. Plan on giving an engagement ring to Regina. An engagement ring? Uh-huh. It's actually a diamond-shaped stone cut from glass. Even more brilliant than the real thing. I think Regina is going to love it. It's just a ring. What's the matter, Nick? Well, there's got to be something I can catch him on. Really? The last thing he said was, I still have it in my pocket. But he doesn't, because we have it. So, we present the ring. Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it? What are you talking about? Uh-oh, looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring? Ah, that's mine. Give it back. Thief, thief. Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? What's going on here? That's Ben, say something. Don't put me on the spot like that, Treatloaf. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room where they put money, like a bank vault? Ha! That filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoid slandering innocent fiats in my court. Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey in every sense of the word. Ah, I see. Well then, Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up. Shiny things. Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time. You know, that night. The night of the crime. What did you just say? Details. I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Oh, oh! Ah! Yow! Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder. It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Trilo Quist. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo? You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching money monkey. Monkey money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? Testimony has a flaw. There is a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Wright. Well then, Tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He is blinded by his rivalry with Max. Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant. What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dog face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him. No doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar. Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night. Ha! I've told you so many times. Think you'd know my story's not changing. You already changed the story, stick boy, and I'm sure it will change some more. Where there is one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Yeah. Witness testimony. Witnessing Max. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. Said good evening to him, but didn't even acknowledge my presence. Absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max. That's right, Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him. How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Well, let's see. I'd say about, I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Cross-examination, witnessing Max. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina, but that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. Said good evening to him, and he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. Okay, we're gonna go back to the beginning and just press everything, because nothing is immediately jumping to mind. Okay, I'll give you that night that I was waiting for Regina. So you were only concerned with waiting for Regina that night. That means you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up. You should think about how many eyes I actually have. I've got 4, you know. 4. F-O-U-R, counting Ben, of course. With that many eyes, do you think something would have slipped by me? 4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed at one area, I suppose. Yikes, the judge is even more dangerous to our case than Trilo. Well, that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. So you saw Max coming out of the big top that night. Of course, that's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance to the tent the entire time. I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina. That he was looking there, not that's where Max came from. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. About what time would you say these events took place? You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. You already know the practice finished promptly at 10. You already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to know about what time it was when I saw him. I'll just add 10 more minutes, I'm sure you can do that. Now what time was it? Indeed, what time was it? What time was it? Let me think about that for a second. Yow, I'm no good at this. It was 10 p.m. Ah, yes, that sounds about right. Sounds about right because that's the time I saw Max on the scene. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night? You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? Got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trilo. You say good evening at night. Ah, I'm sorry, Trilo. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept your ventriloquist's act out of the courtroom. It's been here this entire time. Impossible. A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better. There's got to be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Ben's half of the comedy act. Yeah, we want to know what Ben's got to say. I hate to say it, but Ben's part of your little act is coming off a bit stale. I'm sure that if a pro was to review your work, he would... Ow. You're not trying to pass yourself off as a professional performer, are you? Don't get so wrapped up in yourself, Mr. Phoenix Ray. You should know better. Ow! 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 That hurts! I should have set him straight. You may proceed with your testimony, witness. Okay. Clearly I pressed the wrong thing. So, you said good evening. Yes! Actually, it is weird that he gave him a greeting, and I'll tell you why it's weird that he gave him a greeting. He doesn't like Max. His evening greeting. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. Why did it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be so cordial with one of your co-workers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand.